Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Dan and Kev's Wrestling Talk Show. Well, it's a bit of a sad day today, really. It's our last video on the Nexus.
It is, yeah. Before it all transfers over to our All Elite Wrestling one, all community wrestling group. Yeah.
So,
some changes coming. It's good.
Yeah.
Good.
I can hear my voice coming back. Can you turn the volume down? Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Cool. So, from now on, it'll be on Dan and Kev's Wrestling Talk Show on YouTube and All Wrestling Community on Spotify. So keep your eyes peeled for that. There's a lot of things in the pipeline at the Kev that we've got planned.
Yes, there is, mate. Yeah,
so,
there is. Yeah,
a lot of content on Spotify. We've now got Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. It's all called All Wrestling Community, and I'm currently in the process of creating a website where there's going to be merchandise and memorabilia and all sorts of things that's over the next few months will be coming. So
it's all good.
Yeah,
it's all good.
So where do you want to go with on today's Bearcast, mate? Where do you want to go?
I think we should talk about AEW. Obviously, we've been a bit critical over what they've done, and obviously, I've seen a lot of stuff like their viewership and their roster and everything else, and it all seems good, but something's missing. And I thought we'd just do a video on what we would do to make AEW better, sort of thing, and what they could probably do even. Because I don't think you're ever going to get past sort of the fan base being like they are. I think they're always going to be that sort of toxic sort of thing. Wrestling fans always are, even before this would happen.
Oh yeah.
Wrestling fans always are. But sort of what can he do to improve it? Because every week we've got a huge announcement next week. It's like it's not work. It doesn't work because the ratings haven't gone up. They've actually gone down the opposite way. So I was just wondering, what would you do to make it better? You got stars like Kenny Omega, Adam Page on there, the Young Bucks, and it's like,
Yeah, you got Adam Cole, you got Bryan Danielson, CM Punk, they've got. Can I say this? Can I say it? Yeah, fuck it, why not? I actually think AEW have probably. I can hear my voice again. Really
can you? Hang on.
Yeah.
I'll turn that down. Is that better?
Right, cool. I can still hear it. Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
It's okay. You all right?
Yeah. There you go. That's fine. I think it's because we're recording two at the same time. I think it's just.
Yeah.
So I actually think AEW have probably a more broader, in-depth wrestling roster than what WWE have. Like when you look at the actual caliber of talent that AEW have got, they've probably got more that you would consider in that highest echelon of world-class wrestlers than WWE. And they're just not used right. They weren't used right in WWE, and they're not being used right now. We got, we've seen so much shit from AEW fans, and a lot of it, we were laughing at a lot of it over when Buddy Murphy got released, and they were trying to throw it down WWE's throat when AEW signed him. And then you posted on the group this morning, he's had zero appearances on Dynamite.
Yeah. Oh, he did. I think he's had appearances. I think he's not had a match. He's had 0 matches on Dynamite. Not a single match. I think they're running into the same problem that the problem they have is that they don't have enough TV time, and they're now running into the same problem that WWE had, where it had more. at the time when WWE had a massive roster like that, you had NXT, NXT UK, you had 205 Live, you had a main event, you had Raw and SmackDown, so you had quite a lot, and they still couldn't feature everyone.
No, but I feel like AEW have kind of shot themselves in the foot by having so much top level talent. I mean, it's great to have so much world class talent signed to your company, but you can't possibly give. I mean, me and you could sit in now and name 20 names that you would consider world class.
Yeah.
That are signed to AEW. You probably couldn't name 20 world class for the whole of WWE, to be honest. So, and how many have actually been used right? Do you know?
Yeah.
Five, maybe. There's maybe been 5 that you look at and go, okay, the AEW have done right by them. They've done well. You talk bare minimum is 10. There's 10 top class talents there that haven't been used. And like you said, it's the same problem that WWE had. AEW are almost in a position now where if they wanted to use all of their best talent, they'd have to not have a women's division, not have a tag team division. Every single Dark, Elevation, Rampage, and Dynamite, all 4 shows would have to be Mox versus Bryan Danielson, CM Punk versus MJF. It'd have to, Malachi Black versus Buddy Murphy, Keith Lee versus blah blah blah, Adam Cole or whatever. They'd have to have just singles, and no wrestling show is going to do that because you want to have diversity. You want to have, the availability to change it up and have a women's match and a tag team match, and it's. Do you know what? I have been very critical of AEW, but I do feel, in the same breath, I feel sorry for AEW and I feel sorry for Tony Khan trying to book it, simply because he's trying to do the right thing by keeping MJF happy, keeping Darby Allin happy, keeping Sammy Guevara happy. He's aware that he's got 3 top-class young talents there that he wants to use, and he knows the only way they're going to improve is by having TV time.
Yeah.
But then you've got people who, like Miro and Buddy Murphy and Malachi Black and Adam Cole and Hangman Adam Page, who Omega, when he comes back, you're always going to have top level talent not on shows because CM Punk's always going to be on TV just because of
course,
the fan attraction. If Mox is fit and Mox wants to wrestle that week, he's there. And it looks like MJF and Darby Allin, he wants to use them every week as well, and fair play to him. But it does kind of mean that over the next, I mean, we've already seen it for the last 3 years, but over the next couple of years, you're going to continually see, you're going to go, I've not seen Adam Cole for a month. Where is he?
Just and what?
Because they've got
that's another thing as well with Adam Cole is that they've not really used them. They have, and the problem I have with Adam Cole is they continue the storyline with Adam Page. Adam Cole, I don't think, has won enough matches to still be in the title picture. And then you got Redragon that haven't really done anything ever. They've not come in as like the signing that they wanted, if you know what I mean. No one's sort of interested. It's quite strange that you got the talent like that, yet no one now seems to be interested. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, do you know what's kind of annoyed me over the last couple of weeks?
Oops, sorry about that, dog's going off.
That's all right. What's kind of annoyed me over the last 2 weeks is AEW fans just going on and on and on about how great FTR are. Look what you lost, WWE. Look how great they are, because it was a great match. But the way that they were saying it, it was almost like, I actually replied to a couple of them going, the whole fucking world has known how great the Revival are for the last 10 years. This isn't AEW fans are acting like it's a secret, like they've arrived. Now look how great they are now in AEW. Fuck off. They've been great for 10 years.
They did. they did an interview recently where they actually said that they would go back to WWE. There were certain criterias.
I would bet every single fucking penny that they will come back.
Yeah.
For the same reason Cody's come back, and for the same reason Mox will probably come back. They have unfinished business in this company. They're not stupid. They love the time in AEW, but they are aware that AEW is, and if I'm ever proven wrong, I'll be the first one to apologise. I would bet every fucking penny my bank AEW will never, ever be in the same league as WWE. They will never get anywhere near them.
No.
They can't.
No.
They are just, it's like
a juggernaut.
It's like as a club, like I'm going to get so much shit for this, but to put it into footballing terms, I'm a Man United fan. But as a club and as a fan base, Man City will never be as big as Man United. They will never get there. Man United, Real Madrid, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, they are, and Liverpool, they're just in a league of their own, and it's because of history. It's because of the last 100 years of these clubs constantly being at the top or near.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
If Man United continue being as shit as they've been for the last 7 or 8 years, then they might decline. And if Man City are doing what they've been doing now for the next 50 years, maybe, but it won't. That's just not, it's not, there's too much money now involved in football. It's like, you know,
there's too much money involved in wrestling at the moment. That's the thing as well.
And this is what I'm saying. Like, AEW will never get anywhere near WWE. WWE are just, they're in a league of their own.
They're in their own league.
The amount of money that they bring in every single year is ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's I read a thing actually. Don't know how true it is. You know. My dad always told me, you believe half you hear and half that you see, and it's something that I read on Twitter. So don't hold me to it. I don't know, but I did read that WWE were the biggest earning PLC throughout the entire COVID era. There isn't a single business company that brought in as much money as WWE did in that pandemic era.
The
size of what the WWE is, they are just an absolute powerhouse.
They were criticised when they got rid of a lot of people, didn't they? Because they were making record profits, but it was always down to budget cuts that they were cutting people. But I've been in that situation before, so you know, where companies are making lots of money and then turning around and saying we've got to make budget cuts or we've got to cut back on this, that, or the other. They're just like any other big company, really.
Absolutely.
But yeah, AEW at the moment, I think AEW is spending a lot of money, which I suppose is okay. I mean, you know, in business you have to spend money to make money. I understand that.
Yeah.
But they haven't. I don't think they've done. They've got the ROH. They've got the Ring of Honor stuff, and they just haven't done sort of anything. Where everyone still now is still saying, well, what are you going to do with it? You've got the whole library. You've got the name. The belts are now on TV. You've now signed a few of the people. Well, what else? And he said nothing. He's quite vocal when it comes to saying if there's an announcement next week or it's a game changer. But when it comes to ROH, it's sort of, I don't know what he's planning on doing.
Because he doesn't know.
Yeah.
It's obvious to everyone that he doesn't know what he's going to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he's brought back the belts as well. We've got Samoa Joe, the TV champion again. And he's brought back the old title designs as well. But I just don't know where he's, like, where is it going? Like, you've not got enough TV time at the moment to showcase everyone in AEW. Yet you've just signed a load of people from Ring of Honor, and it's like, what's going to happen, sort of thing. I don't know where he's going with it, and it's going to be interesting. It's also going to actually be interesting as well because Warner Media. I don't know if you know this, but they've you had Warner Brothers. They've just had this massive merger with Discovery and TNT and all of that sort of stuff. So there's this massive merger going on at the moment. People don't know what's going to happen with AEW, how it's going to sit with Warner, because, like I said, the people that signed AEW originally are now not in charge. It's other people. And there was reports, and these were reports coming out, so they're probably all bollocks, but there was reports coming out that the new people find wrestling as lowbrow, so they're not that interested. There was another report out as well that said they like AEW, but they need to tone it down. It's not what they want, so they want to tone it down, the blood and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And I think, like, personally for me, I think that era is gone. If you want your blood and all that, then there are companies that do that, but it's not on TV. And you can call it sort of snowflake woke or whatever you want to call it, but it is. I'm afraid it's the world we live in at the minute, and no one really wants to see it anymore. Back in the early 2000s, that's what people craved.
Yeah.
But nowadays on TV, it's changed, and I understand that that's
absolutely
where Kana's focus stuff.
Absolutely is. It's like it is the sole reason why Nat stopped watching AEW. She couldn't stand the blood and the gore every single week. But I know a few people who have stopped watching AEW because it's too much. And look, I am sick and tired of people constantly just thinking that I just hate AEW because I hate AEW and I like slagging them off. I don't. I just say it how I see it, and there are things about AEW that I really don't like, and there are things about WWE that I really don't like. And this is what I feel like it's like in our Facebook group. He who may not be named, who likes to chirp up with comments every bloody day. Saying how incredible and great AEW is and how shit WWE is. It's like, as soon as I say anything negative about AEW, he dives on it, and as soon as I say anything positive about WWE, he dives on it. And it's comical because it completely ignores it when I say positive things about AEW, and he completely ignores it when I say negative things about WWE because it doesn't fit his agenda. He only wants to spout something and create drama and create an argument and spread that toxicity that we all hate.
Yeah.
Because that's what he likes. He likes to be a toxic asshole. But I am more than happy to say it's like it's the things that I don't understand is we've had comments on here, about it, and I'm like, if you've not been watching our podcast for the last 2 years, like we have both continually said, apart from the last month or two, how shit Raw's been. We go, Raw's been awful. It's been unwatchable. It's been so bad. And then you get a comment saying, "Oh, you're just a WWE fanboy and you won't have anything bad said of them." I've just fucking said that this shit.
Yeah.
I've said it. I've just said that Raw's been shit for the last 2 years. What more do you want from me? I can't,
And it has been, and it was crap. It was crap. It's getting better now. It's getting better, but I think they slumped the last couple of episodes. Haven't been as good. In that, but back to the AEW stuff. It's sort of I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but I think because we've only really had WWE for so long, and a new rival's come along, and I think people still crave for that sort of WCW WWE rivalry that we had before. It brings out the best in both companies. Vince McMahon even said it himself. He loves competition, but AEW isn't competition. And there's no way of getting around that. They just ain't. They're nowhere in the same league. But the problem is that they think that they are. Yeah. And it's a delusional aspect.
Yeah. And it is why AEW will never get there, because they do think that they are in that same league. And they're not like Cody Rhodes left AEW and came back to WWE for a reason.
Yeah.
If AEW was, and Cody Rhodes basically started AEW, if Cody believed that AEW was in the same league as WWE, would he have left them?
Yeah.
So he knows himself. Look, all I wanted to say was I went off trail again, Kev, like I always do. So apologies about that.
That's all right.
I wanted to say that, and I've said this a million times. the perfect wrestling show is somewhere in between AEW and WWE, and I've said it
Yeah.
a million times.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
the blood and the gore
Yeah.
is another great example of that.
It's
AEW do way too fucking much of it,
yeah,
and WWE don't do enough of it. There's got
yeah.
it
It's good
meets
in
somewhere in the middle.
retrospect. If it's used properly, then it's fine.
Yeah,
But obviously, if it's not used properly, then there's going to be problems there. So, oh, my neighbour's banging out there. I don't know if you can hear that.
nah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's nice
But
weather. It's bank holiday.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll start repairing stuff in the garden.
Yeah,
But no, but with AEW,
yeah,
they got very. I think they've been criticised as they've gone on, which is rightly so. But they haven't seen that criticism themselves. They're sort of like, well, what they know, you know what I mean? And
yeah,
it's like, we're the people watching it. You're going to have to keep us interested. You know, if you want people to come watch your show, then you're going to have to sort of turn something. But the problem they have is that they've called they're a wrestling show. They're focused on, you know, that sort of age group, the 30-year-old plus age group that longs for the old days. You know,
yeah.
where WWE is focused on, you know,
Please
where you would
everybody.
say kids or everyone, but it's worked for them for how many years?
Yeah,
So they must be doing something
yeah,
right.
absolutely, mate. And again, another reason why it'll never be WCW and WWF with AEW and WWE is simply
Yeah,
because WWE are not WWF. Like the WWE
yeah,
of
yeah.
today are not in the same position that WWF was
No,
when they was going up against WCW.
no.
Like they were on an even keel. WWE are fucking light years ahead
Yeah,
of
yeah.
AEW. Light years. Like
Oh
you can't even compare
no,
the two
no.
companies. Like if you look at, you know, people like to say that AEW could get more viewership. They
Yeah,
don't.
no.
You know, when you look at the viewership statistics and the ratings and the demo every single week, more people are tuning in watching SmackDown and Raw
Yeah, yeah,
than
yeah,
than Dynamite and Rampage. They just
yeah,
are. You know,
yeah,
like and WWE's YouTube channel, like AW, and it was groundbreaking, right? It was groundbreaking that it was
yeah,
like, you know, we're gonna do 2 free wrestling shows in Dark and Elevation, and it's gonna be on YouTube. Like that was amazing. But WWE will post a 45-second long video of Riddle dancing backstage like an absolute muppet, and it'll get 10 times more views than what an entire fucking elevation will get.
yeah, yeah,
Like WWE are like way up there, and
yeah,
AEW, you know, they credit where credit's due. They've been more of a rival to them than what I thought that they would 3 years ago. But
yeah,
I think that they've done great. And if Tony Khan had anything about him, don't try and get to being a rival to WWE. You'll never get there. Focus on just putting out
yeah,
good wrestling content.
yeah.
Don't worry about anything else. Just focus
What
on
they're
your own
doing.
shit. Just focus on
Yeah,
your
yeah,
own show because,
yeah,
like, and look, the last point that I want to make on this specific section is WWE now, where they are right now, are never, ever, ever going to give a shit about any other wrestling promotion. Whereas 20 years ago, when the Monday Night Wars were happening,
yeah,
they did. Like, it was important for them to
yeah.
win
Of course it
that
was.
fight because they were fighting for the
Yeah,
survival. Vince McMahon knows full well he has nothing to prove. He has, you know, AW, even if they do keep growing and you know, let's just say for argument's sake, the viewership and ratings do get to a point where they're beating WWE week in, week
yeah,
out. WWE is still going to be making what 50 times more money.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
there just
There's
is no competition
yeah. I
there,
just
really.
don't think there's like in terms, mate. You if you broke it down like you do with other things. So if you broke it like some people have. I think one of the things that was posted on on our our group was there was more actual wrestling in like the 2 hours of Dynamite than there was in like 3 hours or 4 hours of WWE programming. And I'm like, and they went, it's just fact. And I was like, that's okay. But the viewership is also fact. And you're saying that you want more wrestling. That, you look at WWE, if you want to be entertained, go to WWE. If you want to watch wrestling, go to AEW.
Yeah.
And more people, I think more people are going, well, I want a mixture of the both, which is what WWE does. But with AEW, I find they focus more on the wrestling, which is okay. But that damages storylines. It damages people because it means they also, he's got a silly thing on there as well where he tries to make sure that they're not wrestling the same people every single week, which is fine. But once again, you're going to be sort of putting people together. Like I think you had Pentagon and CM Punk this week. Excellent match. But I knew Punk was always going to win. And I was thinking that could have been put on like a pay-per-view style or something like that. Pentagon's a massive star, and you got CM Punk as a massive star, yet you're giving it away for free. I just don't. There's some things that make me think, what are they doing? And the problem is as well, is like I said, they haven't got enough time. So you've got people like Malachi Black and Miro and people like that, and you're going, well, where the hell are they?
Yeah. And
you're frustrated because you want to see them, because you brought them in. I want to see these guys now, but they're not being shown. And then in amongst all that, they're putting on wrestlers that no one really cares about. I was watching it this week. There was a women's match on. I couldn't tell you. I'm so I have to apologise. I don't know who the two of them were. I don't think the crowd did as well, because when they both came out, there was obviously cheers. But when the match started, it went dead silent. There was no reaction whatsoever. It was dead. And I was thinking, why is it so quiet? Even on the commentary, I've noticed it quite a few times actually when they're commentating, that there's sections where they don't talk at all.
Yeah.
And it's like dead air. And you got dead air, and you've got no crowd reaction. And I'm thinking, man. And it's like, start pumping in something. Even, lots of people say, oh, WWE pump in the noise. I don't care. It doesn't sound good on TV.
Yeah. Exactly. It's and
it doesn't look good as well, especially if you pump it in the sound effects. It sounds better. It looks better, even if they're not really cheering. But on TV, it sounds better. When there's dead air and there's no reaction, you're thinking, shit, in it. You know what I mean? You're like, wow. And you've let these two wrestle, and there's no reaction.
That's such a difficult, mate. That's a debate that if there was 100 people in this chat now, it'd go on for days with this, because it's such a 50-50 split thing where what are AEW trying to do? What is their objective? And to be fair to them, and to be fair to Tony Khan, it honestly looks like they're more bothered about putting on good wrestling matches than earning money. Credit to them. To them, because that, as a wrestling fan, is fantastic. They are focused on putting out great wrestling content, and they're not bothered about doing things that will make money. But it's a balance. You've got to do both.
Yes.
And WWE, for all of their flaws, and there's many flaws that WWE have, they are closer. They are closer to achieving both than what AEW are.
Yeah,
because
totally.
Look, you said, what did you say 5 minutes ago? You said that. You said that AEW focused that much on the actual wrestling matches that it hurt storylines.
Yeah.
But why? Why can't you do both? Because if you ask any, and I mean any, top level wrestler,
there's a bit of contradiction to that as well from my end as well, because I think they're doing really well with MJF and Wardlow, but once again they're not doing the wrestling, they're doing the storyline, because both times they've used Wardlow well, which is beefing him up. MJF has had a match, but he hasn't really wrestled. He's thrown in a few punches, then got out the ring, got counted out, that sort of thing. So yeah, it's weird. Like saying, I don't know, it's weird. It's like you'll get a really good wrestling match, but there's no storyline there.
And then you'll
it's
get
like,
a story
what's
with
the
no
point?
wrestling. Yeah.
And then you'll get a storyline like the MJF and Wardlow and no wrestling.
Oh, look, for me, the only one that they did right where it was a fucking great storyline and a fucking great wrestling. The only one that AEW have got absolutely perfect was MJF versus Chris Jericho in the Trials of Jericho, where he had to, every week it was a different match with a different stipulation. That was done perfectly. But every other top match, like Hangman Adam Page and Brian Danielson, where was the story really? Where was the it was great matches. Where was the story? It's like, but if you go and ask any Hall of Famer, you go and ask any of them, Triple H, Undertaker, Stone Cold, the list is endless. You ask any of them, and even the top stars now. You ask Roman, you ask Seth, you ask AJ Styles, you ask Cody Rhodes, Hangman Adam Page, Bryan Danielson, Jon Moxley, blah blah blah, fucking a shitload of others. You ask them what the most important thing is in wrestling, and they will say the storytelling. It's the most important part of wrestling. A great wrestling match with no story is meaningless. Meaningless. That match ends, and you go, wow, what an incredible wrestling match. 5-star wrestling match. Hey, fucking brilliant. Unbelievable. What am I? Adam Cole, Hangman Adam Page, unbelievable from both of you. Well done. Are you going to remember that match in 12 months' time?
No.
But do you remember Triple H versus Shawn Michaels? Do you remember Undertaker versus
of course you do.
with Shawn Michaels?
Because there was a build.
20 years later. You remember the great matches when it had an unbelievable story with it.
Yeah.
And AEW, it's like WWE, it's all promos. And my biggest problem with WWE is the amount of promos that they cut when they give people, they either give people too much mic time who aren't good on the mic, or they give people who aren't good on the mic or people that are good on the mic shitty content. So they will say, here's your script, say this line for line. And it's cheesy, corny bullshit that you're just like, oh my God, what is this? This is awful. When you combine the two, so when you've got someone who can't talk and shitty, corny, cheesy script, just spewing a lot of bollocks out of the mouth, you're like, this is awful. WWE do way too much of that. And they also, WWE for me, I'll get onto AEW in a second, I promise. I know this is AEW chat, but I am trying to balance the two. I'm trying to say what AEW do well and what WWE do well and what they both do bad. WWE, the thing that fucks me off more than anything is the amount of great stories that they have right fucking there. Like, it is literally in the hands. It's there. Just do it. The story's already told. And then, poof, gone. Never to be seen again. Like, mate, I've got to say it. Retribution, what a fucking story that could have been. What an unbelievable thing that they had in their hands there. That could have been incredible. Like, I got so much shit for saying this. I genuinely believe, done right, that could have been just as big, if not bigger, than The Shield. I really, really do. They had everything there. Everything to have an incredible faction with an incredible storyline. They were going against the machine. Fucking hell. They entered SmackDown and chopped the ring down with a chainsaw.
Yeah.
Like, it was nuts. Like, they just raised hell and just took over and destroyed everything. Like, why not keep doing that? It was amazing. And the ratings and reviews, and mate, Twitter was exploding. They were going nuts for Retribution.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, poof, gone, nothing. Like, they do it all the time. They have so many unbelievable stories that you're thinking, oh, it's like Seth versus Dean, right? That, for me, I still haven't forgiven WWE for this, and I probably never will. That could have been Shawn Michaels and Triple H rivalry level storytelling. That could have been one of the stories and matches of the decade. And it should have been, because you've got two world-class, top-level talent. Just let them go. It was there. The story was fucking made. Dean turned on Seth the night that Roman came out with it, saying his leukemia was back.
Yeah.
The story was there. Just go with it. And they didn't. And
No.
they shit head with it. And then on the flip side of it, you've got AEW that literally do the opposite. It's unbelievable wrestling matches, and they do let them go, but there's no story. And it's a one or a two-legged match. There's either one match or two matches, great matches, and it's like, well, yeah, it was a great match, but it's not going to be remembered because there was no story there. There was, you know, and to be fair, to be fair to him, for such a young guy, the only person who seems to be able to create great storylines and mix it with great wrestling is MJF. Is the only one in AEW that you look at and you go, you've got a guy there that legit for the last 3 years has been involved in world-class storytelling and world-class matches.
Yeah. I think we could probably discuss this for ever. Yeah. I think what it boils down to is they work well apart, and you can enjoy both of them, and both of them have got problems.
Yes, hit the nail on the head. I enjoy both, and what I am looking forward to, look, I will die on this sword. AEW will never be in the same fucking universe as WWE. Never mind same league. I just don't think that they will ever get there. But I do believe that they can push each other and help each other. I think Cody Rhodes will be that bridge between both companies to help them. You know, I said it 3 years ago, and you said no chance. I think coming within the next couple of years, there will be a cross pay-per-view. I think it will be they will work something out where they will do an AEW and a WWE. You know, it'll be Roman versus Mox. You know, they will figure something out. It will make it for me. It will just make far too much money not to. But you're seeing over the last few months, WWE is getting better. Yeah. And I feel, and I want your opinion on this, over the last few months, specifically since Cody Rhodes has left, AEW is getting worse. And that for me is worrying.
It's good that you say that, actually, because the ratings have definitely shown that. You know, WWE had build up before Mania, well, they always get a lot of viewerships, but AEW has struggled for the last it's probably about 4 or 5 weeks now to get over 1 million views. They've very struggled. They've struggled quite badly, actually, to try and get that. Where before they were getting just over 1 million, so they were doing all right. And the numbers, don't get me wrong, the numbers aren't bad, but you need to show, I don't know, sort of a progression on that. You need to keep numbers going up. You know, you could argue that WWE, Raw wasn't very good, so the viewerships were hit. That's fair enough, you know. But WWE is in that position where if USA go to them and go, look, the viewerships are crap, they can get another TV deal like that. The problem with AEW is their viewerships are fluctuating up and down, and they're going the opposite way. They should be going up. But another TV channel would come along. I don't think that they'll have any trouble getting them, but I think they will look at that and go, well, there's been no growth in your audience. In fact, it's going the opposite way. So with WWE, it doesn't matter, because you go, oh, you were doing good, but Raw's now losing loads of this. Yeah, but it's Monday Night Raw. It's WWE. Yeah, you know, it's not the show. They couldn't really care what's on the show. They're buying the name.
Of course, but
you know, so
but Kev, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If the rumors are true and that pretty soon AEW are going to be told you need to cut down the blood and gore, otherwise, you know, you're not being televised, and they will have to cut it down. How much more of the fan base are they going to lose?
Well, this is it. It's a strange one because they've got a very loyal fan base,
Passionate fan base. It's great.
So did AEW, ECW, I should say. ECW had this massive hardcore following that went to WWE, and I remember when WWE did the one night stand shows, and it was off the chain, and you had hardcore ECW fans there, but all dressed in WWE gear, holding the WWE belts. And I just thought, and they're like, "Oh, we want WWE to die. This is when it's going to happen," and all of this. This was like back in 2006 and 2007, and it's like, what? I just found it sort of funny how you could say that sort of. Here you are. I remember there was a guy. I think there was a guy on it that said that he had a sign that said WWE dies tonight, while holding a spinner belt and with a WWE RVD top on. And I was like, have you seen yourself? So you want WWE to die, yet you're holding all of their merch. And it was just like, it was like a palm moment, it was like a slap in the head sort of thing.
Yeah,
and I find that a lot with AEW people is that they piss and moan about WWE, yet they've got belts like mine, or they're wearing the t-shirts. And it's like, if you don't like something, don't get anything. Don't even get their figure. Don't get shit.
Why would
because you're supplying them with the one stuff that you don't want them to have, which is money. So
exactly. You if you want to bring WWE down, hit them where it hurts, the pocket.
Yeah.
But then
stop watching their show, which I know a lot of AEW people fans do. They're the first ones to come out and go, "Oh, WWE was shit this week." And it's like, well, stop watching it
anymore. Yeah, exactly. I thought you didn't watch it anymore.
You know what I mean? It's a bit like if a TV show gets shit, you don't carry on watching it. You just turn off. Then it gets cancelled, and then everyone's happy.
Yeah, it's madness. It's like, look, I really hope AEW starts to improve.
Yeah.
Because
I think,
it has all the potential there to do so. But it is worrying that since Cody's left, I follow a lot of AEW wrestlers on Twitch, and I've heard a few of them on the Twitch channels and stuff, and other interviews with Ariel Helwani and stuff, and loads of stuff that they've done. Interviews with Renee Paquette, obviously John Moxley's wife. And you're talking 10 wrestlers that have said since Cody Rhodes has left, they feel like their creative brain has left.
Yeah, it's been you're saying that it's been mentioned quite a few times actually, that if you need help or you're not creative minded, you're kind of stuck in AEW because they basically tell you to do stuff. And I said this before in another podcast. I'll probably get slated for it, but I said, it's the inmates running the asylum, and we've had that before. WCW was infamous for letting blokes do what they wanted to do, and we all know what happened there. And it's a bit like, and Tony Khan comes out and says as well things like, well, if I had 27 Hollywood writers, my show would be like that. So it's like, well, get them then. Stop whinging, and it's like, stop whinging and do it. It's like, if you want your product to be like that, do it. You've clearly got the money. You've clearly got the money to do it. So hire some writers, hire some bookers as well, because I don't mind some of the booking, but I feel that sometimes there needs to be someone else, But Tony Khan's a fan. He's like us. If we had the money, we would do. I think you've said that before. I think if we had Tony Khan's money, we would do exactly what Tony Khan's doing.
Absolutely.
Wouldn't we?
Yeah, of course we would.
So it's hard. It's hard because we can see it going. It needs to improve, but at the end of the day, we're all giddy like he is. You know what I mean? We're like, oh well, yes.
Look, I think there are lots of signs there that WWE is improving massively. Massively. And I even though that the ratings and stuff is kind of panning a bit in AEW, some of the matches that they've put on over the last few months has still been sublime. I think that both need to now, and I think it'll take a while. I think it'll take probably another couple of years. But I
Yeah.
do think they will both start coming to meet in the middle, where WWE will start focusing a little bit more on wrestling, and I think that they will start doing more adult content, if you will, a bit more blood and
Well,
a bit more brutality
they've done a bit more of the adult content in NXT with the women.
Yeah.
And they've already said that they want to do a bit more adult stuff,
That's
and they're able to because they're on the streaming platforms, so there's not a barrier there.
Look,
still
one of the most watched clips on social media is still Tommaso Ciampa putting Adam Cole through the table from the top of the War Game cell, and that was only 18 months ago. So it will improve. It will. There's already signs WWE is getting better. AEW need to go the other way. They need to focus less on the blood and gore and less on, just focusing on the wrestling and start focusing on storytelling. As well. We've both said it 100 times, and I will keep saying it until I'm blue in the face. They are polar opposite of each other. Their goals and their Vince McMahon and Tony Khan's ideologies are polar opposite to each other. Like they just think completely differently, and that is good. That's a healthy thing.
I want to just say as well, in regards to a lot of people will probably watch this and go, "Oh, you talk about storylines, but there isn't." Right? So, what the storyline Miro was into? What happened there? It's fizzled out. Your favorite Malachi Black? What happened there? They were building up a storyline.
Yeah,
where he was getting people, and what's happened there?
Yeah,
and it's like that's what's frustrating is that you've got these guys, they're doing these promos. You've got Malachi Black there doing it, coming down, getting his followers, and because you haven't got the time for him on the show, it's fizzled out, and people are like, "Well, what's going on? Why aren't you using him and getting his storyline up?" And they were pushing his storyline for quite a bit, and now they've just. I don't know what's happened with him. And like you're saying, you've got a really good storyline there and a storyteller. But what are they doing with him?
Malachi Black should have tried to re-sign with WWE. That's just my opinion. He should have made phone calls and said, "I'm going to stay as a free agent. I'm going to try and convince you to take me back." WWE, whoever made that choice, apparently it was Nick Khan who pulled the plug on Aleister Black and the Dark character.
A lot of them.
Yeah. But there was a lot in WWE, like Triple H and HBK, and I've read from a few decent sources. Vince McMahon loved Aleister Black, but the reason why Vince McMahon hired Nick Khan is because Vince McMahon isn't a cunt. As much as many people want to think he is, he isn't. He literally hired a guy because he couldn't
make the tough decisions.
He couldn't do it because he said, "Right, I need to drastically limit this roster. I've got way too much talent." It's like now, it's like AEW fans was giving Vince and WWE so much shit for the amount of talent that they sacked, but they're still giving WWE shit because, you've got this guy and that girl and you're not giving them TV time because they've still got too much. So if they've still got too much talent now, fuck me. They sacked over 150 people and they've still got too much. That's why they were so harsh. But like Vince said on the Pat McAfee show, it was only brief. He only touched on it. It's like a 10-second thing. But he said it's hard when you know the human being. You know that their mum at the minute has got fucking cancer or something. And Vince, I can't sack him. And he knew them. He knew each and every single one of them too well, and he knew them personally, and he knew their story, and he knew that their struggles. So he brought in a guy who could look at it objectively, who didn't know him because he couldn't do it.
Wasn't a wrestling fan, didn't know him, and he was like, "We'll get rid of him." And everyone's like, "Well, why'd you get rid of him?" He goes, "Well, because we've got him, and that's it." And we're all scratching our heads going, what the hell are you doing? But
look,
like you said, he's not. We've said it before on here. Tony Khan, not Tony Khan,
Nick
the other one. Yeah, he's not a wrestling guy.
No.
So, and they've brought him in because of that fact, not because of the fact that he's a businessman, but because he's a good businessman that isn't a wrestling fan.
Yeah,
and he can make those decisions where, say, Triple H or Vince McMahon can't.
Look, while we're right here, I have to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Was the whole world worked? Was Bray Wyatt sacked, or is it all a fucking mate? I just
Yeah.
hear me out. Just hear me out, right? Why has he not signed for AEW? If he was legitimately let go,
Yeah.
when all he's done his entire fucking life is wrestle, it's all he knows how to do. Yes, there were rumors that he's working on a horror film in Hollywood. That makes sense given how creative his mind is. When you think of, he'd be great. I'm not being funny. If I was Warner Brothers or some, if I was a big massive Hollywood film company and I wanted a horror film, I'd have him directing it.
Well, the thing was over WrestleMania weekend, he was doing signees and he was doing interviews as well.
He was
and on one of the interviews before Cody come out, one of the interviews was, "Are you going to be Seth Rollins' opponent?" And he actually said there's still unfinished business there with Seth.
Yeah.
And I was like, is he just saying this thing? I was thinking I'm thinking now maybe he comes back. SummerSlam. It's only around the corner.
Mate.
A couple of months down the road.
Look, right. Randy on the Pat McAfee show, Randy on the Stone Cold podcast. That's not Randy Orton. That's Randall Keith Orton.
Yeah.
It's the fucking man. You see how fucking bitter he is when he talks about how WWE ended Randy and the Fiend story.
Yeah.
He's fucking fuming with it. And Bray can't even talk about it.
Yeah.
Or Windham. Windham, he can't even bring us to talk about it. It was like, yes, he might be working on a film project, maybe, but his bread and butter has always been and always will be wrestling. It's all he knows. It's all he's done his entire life. If he's been legitimately sacked, would he have gone? He's got a young family. He got sacked like 3 months after his second kid was born.
Yeah.
Would he have gone 12 months without bringing in any money? Something's fishy there. So it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. If he had been sacked by WWE, why has he not signed for even not AEW? Why has he not gone to
Impact
or Impact or
New Japan?
He could have gone anywhere, and the fact that he's not signed for anyone else, and he keeps, things that he has said in interviews and at signs stuff. I seen a fan taking video where he was asked, "Are you ever going to go back to WWE?" And he just starts laughing, and he kind of like looks at it because it's only like I think it's about 10, 11. This kid asked him, I think it's his dad filming it, and he just looks at this kid and he just kind of like winks at him. It's almost like he's saying, "I'd love to tell you, but I can't." Like something has been going on there. I'm not saying that he's still signed to WWE. That's not what I'm saying. Maybe it's as simple as this: his best friend fucking died suddenly. Rest in peace, fucking John Huber. What a massive loss that was. And I don't think he coped. I think it's as simple as that. I think it mentally after that he was done and he was broken. And I think he's turned around to WWE and said, I don't know when I'm going to come back. He came back. He had the match against Randy. That couldn't have gone any worse. It was awful.
Yeah.
And then a few weeks later, he was released. I honestly think that he's turned around to WWE and said, "Look, you're releasing all of this talent. I'm on a big wage, and you keep mithering and saying, when am I coming back? When am I coming back? That proved I'm not ready. I'm mentally not prepared. I need some time off. I need to refocus. So maybe he has left. Maybe he has, he's not under contract with them.
Yeah.
But he's gone doing some soul searching, and he's gone to try and, a bit of him time. But that would make sense as to why he's not signed for anybody else.
Yeah, yeah.
He knows that when he's ready, there's only one place he's going when he's ready. I just a guy as big as him with a fan base as big as his, and he's not stupid. He knows how loved he is. He knows how adored because he was different. I mean, the biggest compliment anyone will ever pay Windham Rotunda is Shawn Michaels saying he could be the modern day Undertaker. He has that thing, that character, he has that brain, that creativity to be the modern day version of the Undertaker. You cannot get a bigger compliment than that, and it's so true because he was so different. It's not just his Fiend character. Old school Bray. It was so different and creepy, and
But anyway. But look, like I said, we could go on this for ages. But shall we wrap it up there?
Yeah,
it's good to wrap it up there. This is going to be our last one now on here.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be our last one now, and we'll move everything over to the new YouTube channel. So, so goodbye to the Nexus channel, and hello to the All Wrestling Community one. And we'll see you all over there. I'll post everything over there. But obviously, I've been the Nexus.
I've been Dan.
And we'll see you we'll see you on the other side.
We will indeed. Take it easy, guys.
Take it easy.